Sixth graders, we are going to teach you how to make a form using Google. And if you can hear a little background noise, now you know what it's like when the room next to you has rambunctious students. That's part of the reason you hear some of that noise. Anyhow, I'm going to teach you from ground zero how to make a form. They're really cool and they allow you to distribute your own surveys to your own friends, and then I'll show you how to compile the results. So what you're doing, you're going to follow along with me step by step, and feel free to pause because there's no way you can watch the screencast from start to finish and then go back and remember what was done. So when you're finished, you will have a Thanksgiving survey that has been distributed to your friends. And so, like I said, pause as needed so that you can create the survey in real time along with me. So let's get started. Step one, make sure you have logged into your Google account and that you are at your drive. You can see I was on my email instead of my drive. And then in step one of making a form, you hit the new button, and you don't see it as one of the defaults, at least I don't, so I have to slide down here to where it says more, and I choose Google Form. And in true sixth grade fashion, okay, it says learn about Google Forms. I don't need any more help. So I'm going to say no thanks or just close this. I don't know if you're going to see that or not. But what you want to do is to title your form. You don't want to call it untitled form. So I'm going to call this Thanksgiving. And you should as well, because we're going to make a little quick Thanksgiving survey so that you understand how to create these little forms, okay? All right, and so at the top, it assumes the name Thanksgiving because you gave that title. And let's give our first question where we ask the user what their name is. Okay, this is not a multiple choice question, right? We don't put in the names of every person that we're going to ask their name of. We're going to let them type it in. So instead of a multiple choice question, let's choose what's called a short answer question. Okay, that will allow the user to type in their name. So all we have to do is, instead of calling it an untitled question, if we type in the word name, then they will understand that they are to type their name in there. Also, what I found helpful is if you click on required, otherwise people tend to not take your survey through the entire survey. So that is step one in your form. Now, what I like to do immediately is to click this little eyeball, because this gives you a preview of what your survey will look like, right? So you're building a form. A completed form becomes a survey. So hey, that looks good. You have a title and you have a little box for them to type in their name. So I'm going to go back and forth between these two tabs repeatedly. This tab shows us what the form, the completed survey looks like. This tab shows us the form as we build it. Okay, so our first question is now done. Yay. Question number two, we would like to ask them what type of meat they prefer when they eat turkey. So this little plus sign allows us to add a question. Now, this is where I would limit their choices, right? The less typing that you have them do, the more likely that you're going to get answers that you can compile into a result database quickly. So instead of a multiple choice, I would recommend changing this to what's called a drop-down, right? With a drop-down, they only can choose the items that you put in the options. So for a question, let's type in, what is your favorite type of turkey meat? Okay, now if you have to pause this to type that in, that's cool. All right, down below for our option one, I'm going to type in white meat. And then for option two, we're going to go dark meat. And then for our non-turkey eating friends, we'll say neither. Okay, and then anything below that purple line, they're not going to see. And sorry, we should make this required. And then what I would like to do is go back to the other tab, see this tab appear for Thanksgiving, right? And refresh our screen so we can see what our form looks like now. All right, so there's the name field. What is your favorite type of turkey meat? Notice they can't do anything but choose from one of these three. So you've limited the amount of error that can happen from kids misspelling white meat, dark meat, or neither. So now it's pretty much foolproof. So question number two is now finished. Let's move on to a third style of a question, okay, which is more of an open-ended question with, it's kind of a combination, open-ended and then let them type in answers. Let's go with what's called a multiple choice question. And you're going to see the difference between a multiple choice and a drop down. in this question, we would like to ask, what is your favorite dessert? Okay, and a lot like the drop-down choice before, I'm going to require it, by the way, you can give them options. So let's give them the traditional pumpkin pie. Okay, add option, click right here. Let's give them apple pie. It was a suggestion from another student last hour. My mother's trademark pie is a pecan pie. Okay, now I'll give you the option here. When you're typing these in, you can type more than 3 if you want. You can substitute a different dessert if you would prefer. But what I would like you to do is when you're finished with your desserts, okay, I want you to click Add Other. Okay, now what this does is it gives them a choice to type in their favorite if it's not listed. All right, so if I go back to the tab up at the top here and refresh what my survey looks like, you'll see exactly how that differs, right? So name field is a typed answer. Favorite type of meat, they can't do anything but pick from one of the 3. The multiple choice question, they can only pick one of these, or they can type in their answer. Okay, so if I were to go here, it would let me pick pecan pie. I'd have to type in some kind of thing here. One of the students suggested, oh, cheesecake. So, you know, if you didn't have that as a choice and your person went to take your survey, now they have a choice to add their own. Okay, so really that's the difference between a multiple choice question and a drop-down question. All right, let's keep building. Okay, I want to add a third type of question, right? Actually 4 type, because you did a text, you did a drop-down, you did a multiple choice. This type of question is going to allow them to pick from many different options. Okay, so they can pick more than one. Let's add a question this time. And then right here, instead of multiple choice, let's make this what's called a checkbox. All right, so here's our question. Okay, what do you like to put on your turkey? Okay, option 1. Notice these are square. That means they can choose as many or as few as they like. All right, let's say they want to put salt. Let's add an option. Pepper. Okay, let's add an option. Gravy, I gotta have gravy because if you go with white meat, it can kind of, you know, dry. All right, cranberries. Again, pause as needed to check spelling. Okay, and then really this one is an open-ended question from the standpoint that they can pick as many of these as they want, and if you want to give them something else, maybe they put something wacky on there like corn. All right, you ever know somebody like that puts the whole kitchen sink on their turkey? Maybe they put mashed potatoes and corn, the whole 9 yards on it. So if you want to leave that as an option, okay, you can do other, and then they can type in whatever they like to put on their turkey. So if we go back and preview it, okay, reload the page, we got text box, drop down, okay, multiple choice, and then the other, right, the checkbox, they can choose this. I like salt, pepper, and gravy. So that's all good. See how they differ? And you can even type in another right here. So if you want to put mashed potatoes, you know, corn, all that nonsense, all right, you can do that as well. So hopefully you see how all of these differ. So now that you have your questions made and you understand the difference between the styles of questions, let's make your form look a little bit more presentable, right? This is a Thanksgiving survey. So what we want to do is click this, this little color palette, and you can pick from a solid color like brown, okay? Or if you want, this is kind of fun, you can choose this little mountain range and you can add a picture. Now this is unlike traditional Google pictures where you can kind of search. I didn't see a search button, but I could go food and dining and look at some of their presets. Okay, I could upload one if I had saved one to my desktop, but I don't see any really item in here where I can go to Google and tell it search for a turkey or something. So take a few minutes and find one that you think is suitable. And I will do the same. I think I'll go with this one for now, just because I'm kind of in a hurry. And now our survey is taking form. Now, half the fun of making the survey is being able to, oh, I didn't record this one. is being able to distribute it to others, okay? And so in order for you to distribute it, you have to decide first from the gear, are you going to limit this to anybody, okay, in the Browning Township schools, or do you want people outside the district to be able to take it? So if you want your mom and dad to take it and they're not teachers, you want to uncheck that. Okay, if you want it just for kids who go to BTS, then leave it checked. I would recommend checking this, limit to one response. So you decide on that first checkbox. That's your call, okay? Usually I don't go down below and edit the summary. I don't let them edit after they submit theirs. So now when I save the result, okay, it's ready to be sent. Now how do you get it to other people? All right, you click on send right here. And when you send it, right, it's going to ask, this is kind of nice, automatically collect respondents. You would want that so that they can't type in a phony name. Now you can check if they type in their name is John, and then you collect the name and it's not John, then you can throw that one out because you know that person wasn't being honest. And then what you want to do is just type in several email addresses of people that you would like to send it to. So for me, I can type in Mrs. Harry's name, okay. I can type in Luke Harry's name. He could get a copy of this. Okay, as many people as you want, right? I can send it to Reed Harry if he would like to take the test. So, or Lance because he was close. Subject line of your email. Okay, please take my survey. Message. Okay, this would be the body of your email. You could say, I just made this survey. Please be honest when you take it. And that would be part of the email's body, okay? And then that's all you have to do. When you send it, they will get an invitation to take the survey, okay? And so I guess you'd want to do that and take a few minutes to do that. When you have finished that, okay, pause this part so that you can send your survey to some friends. If you get sent a survey, please answer it. And then I would like to show you how to look at those results. So at this part of the screencast, take a break and send your survey. And then when you sent it and realize that somebody has taken your survey, I want you to come back to the screencast to finish up this next part. Okay, and so now you've sent your survey out through email and you've had a couple of people take your survey. How do you look at the results? Okay, well, that's this other tab. When you built your survey, right, there was a tab right here where you could click responses. And so when you click this, you guys will see the responses show up. You'll actually have a couple of charts be developed by the software itself. So it's really cool. You can see how people voted. And that is how you check your responses. Okay, that is the end of our lesson. So hopefully you had some fun and you learned how to make a survey using Google Forms.